Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jessica.
I heard Jessica.
Jessica.
Like no S's in there. Hi,
Oh.
I'm Jessica.
Jessica.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jessica. Okay, so we've decided that we are going to rejig our podcast a little bit,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Doing our little talk thing at the end?
Yeah. We just wanted to be mindful of the people who are coming to the podcast to listen to us react to A Storm of Swords.
Any novel that we're picking up.
Yeah. So we're going to just get into the book right away when we start the podcast. For those who are familiar with the podcast and have been listening recently, this is for you, just so you aren't like, wait, are they going to talk at all? Or So we're going to start by getting right into the book, and then when we're done, we will talk for the remainder of our time and just catch up and do life updates and all that good stuff. So it's not gone. We're just moving it to the end of the podcast.
Yes. So you have your choice.
Yes.
To stick or stay.
So if you care about books, but you don't give a fuck about us, that is totally okay. You can just turn it off when we start talking about our lives.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So what are you drinking, Jess?
Pew, 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 pew. What kind of tea have you been drinking?
Green tea. Wow, so healthy.
Do you put anything in it?
I put a little bit of honey, but I haven't had green tea or good green tea in a really long time. And I forgot how nutty it tastes. So I do like it.
I am drinking the Irish breakfast tea again. That one that we were all like, what the fuck? How is this different from the English breakfast?
Apparently it's not.
Well, I forget which one, but one of them is like a mix of black teas and the other one is just pure black tea. So it's just confusing. The ingredients are not very telling of what is actually different about them.
True.
Yeah. All right. So let's just get into it then.
Okay.
We're starting with chapter 6, correct?
Is that one Sansa?
That one is Salsa, correct.
Salsa. I swear I read this chapter before. Was it in the last book?
Was this chapter in the last book?
Maybe my book had this chapter and I read it without realizing that it was an excerpt of this book.
Yeah, because
I was just like, I swear I read this chapter.
I haven't read it, so yeah, maybe it was just like an add-on at the end of Clash of Kings. All right, so Sansa receives an invitation from Margaery Tyrell to join her for supper. Oh shit. Sansa is hella nervous. She doesn't understand why Margaery would want to sup with her. She watched from the castle walls as Margaery and Joffrey met at the King's Gate and then rode side by side through the city. Margaery is 16 and super beautiful and people love her and are obsessed with her. And she's going to be the new queen, so Sansa's like, why the fuck does she want to hang out with me? Sansa wonders if the invitation is Joffrey's doing and whether he'll have some kind of humiliation in store for her. And no one is here to protect her from him now. Not the Hound, not Tyrion. Her Florian, Sir Dantos, promised to help her escape on the night of the king's wedding, and she's counting the days until then. Just waiting for someone to save her, huh, Sansa?
Yep, waiting for her night.
Yeah, so I wonder how that's gonna go. Yeah, I guess she's just like so used to her like songs and stories of like the fair maiden getting saved by the knight.
Yeah, to her, that's what life is. She's slowly learning.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not quite like, hasn't quite come into reality yet, but slowly but surely making her way there.
I think it'll be a good journey.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about it now, and maybe this is spoilers, but I'm trying to remember a time in the show when she just saves herself without any outside influence. But honestly, I can't really think of a time.
I can only think of season 8.
I can bleep it out if you want to say it.
Or is it season 7? Season 8. When...
Right.
Is that it? Or is it when... Was that her teaming up with him and realizing that she's better off with him? Or was that...
Ooh.
Or was like something else?
I do not know. I'd have to like watch it again. But yeah, I'm like thinking about how she gets out of King's Landing, which is like, yeah, then like 100 other people. And then I'm trying to think of how she gets out of Winterfell later, and it's like, basically.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that she can end up saving herself.
That would be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully George R. R. Martin actually gets there with the books.
Yeah. That'd be nice. But I do think that this makes sense for her character, because that is like how she's lived her life until now, thinking that life is a song and that's reality and that's how things go. But there's like other strong female characters like Arya, for example, who don't think that way, and so she does take action to get what she wants.
I like that. What Arya? She's like, I'll save myself.
Yeah. So I wouldn't blame George for writing Sansa this way, because he has other female characters who are different and make different choices. Because this is just Sansa's character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sansa wishes the Hound was here. The night of the battle, he came to take her away from the city, but she refused. I totally forgot about this, have to admit. And she wonders now if she made the right choice.
Nope.
What would have happened if she went with him, though? That's an interesting thought experiment.
He probably would have brought her to River Run to sell her.
Oh.
Like he tried to do it.
Right. Sansa writes a note of acceptance to Margaery, and when the night comes, Loras Tyrell shows up to escort her. They greet each other, and obviously Sansa's like melting because he's so hot. Oh my god. During their walk, Loras mentions his grandmother, Lady Olenna, will be eating with them as well. Her nickname is the Queen of Thorns, but Loras warns Sansa not to call her that or else she'll get pricked. Sansa brings up her memory of the Hand's tourney, where Sir Loras gave her a red rose and told her no victory was half as beautiful as her. He responds that he spoke the truth, but Sansa can tell he actually doesn't remember any of it. And she was so sure that it meant something at the time, since she gave him he gave her a different colored rose and said that to her. But that's a lesson to be learned for sure, Sansa.
Oh.
Yeah. How old is she now? Like 12? 11?
Oh, shit. 13? Because, wait, or is Joffrey a year older than her? Just a few months older? Because I remember Joffrey was turning 13, I think.
I thought Joffrey was 14 now.
Fuck. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll learn later on.
Right. Okay. But Sansa, yeah, she's like at that stage of preteen becoming a teen where like boys.
Yep. That's how it is.
Yeah, that must hurt to kind of realize that
Oh shit.
she means nothing to Loras.
Yeah, she was just some pretty girl he saw there.
Yeah, and she's been like coasting off of this fantasy the whole time ever since then, but nope. The topic changes to Renly's death, and Loras suddenly becomes very closed off. Sansa speaks about how difficult that must have been for Margaery, and Loras says that she wasn't there, she didn't see anything, and then says there's no point in talking about it. And apparently I'm an idiot because it took me way too long to realize why he shuts down when the topic of Renly comes up.
Oh.
I'm so dumb.
Hey, as a reader, do you even know? Like, if you didn't see the show, would you even know?
No.
Is there any hinting of that?
I haven't even noticed any hints until now. Other than
Even
the fact
then.
that, like, he was the head of his Rainbow Guard or whatever. But that's not even really a hint.
Like, I feel like without reading, like, not knowing what happened, not seeing the show, I would just think that he just loved his king, Renly, and was probably sad about his death.
True. But I think it's the fact that he gets almost offended when Sansa brings up how hard it must have been for Margaery. I think that's the part that kind of is the giveaway.
Probably.
Sansa's angry with herself for ruining her rapport with Loras, even though she doesn't fully understand why he's so cold now. When they make it to the Maiden Vault behind the Royal Sept, where the Tyrells are staying, Margaery greets them. Loras leaves and Margaery leads Sansa inside, where a dozen women are seated around a long trestle table. Let me take a quick sip of tea.
A sip up?
Margaery does the introductions, the most important ones being her mother and Lord Tyrell's wife, Lady Allery, and Margaery's grandmother, Lady Olenna. She seems sweet and cute and tiny at first to Sansa, but it kind of quickly becomes clear that she actually is quite thorny. I love that as a descriptor, I have to say. They don't use that. He doesn't use that in this book, but I remember it being in Seraphina. Or prickly, I think they used in Seraphina. But I like thorny or prickly as like a personality trait.
Is it Professor McGonagall described as prickly too?
Oh, is she?
I think possibly.
Like, I would definitely describe her as prickly, but I don't know if Rowling actually used that term in the book. Maybe she did. I just don't know. I'm not saying no. I just don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember either, even though I probably read it more recently than you did.
Right.
My illustrated book.
Nice. Are you finished with that one yet, or are you still slowly plugging away at it?
Slowly plugging away. I have like, I think 4 books that I'm like slowly picking away.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Not including A Storm of Swords.
Wow, 4 books, huh? We should talk about that at the end.
Maybe.
Okay. So Sansa greets the ladies and offers her condolences to Margaery for her loss of Renly. And Lady Olenna just starts criticizing Renly. Basically saying, like, he was a giant ding-dong for thinking he was fit to be king. And then she starts going off about, like, all the men in her life and how they're all fucking idiots. She even calls her son the Lord Oaf of Highgarden for supporting Renly.
I love that shit.
Lord Oaf of Highgarden. Lady Olenna goes off about how the claim to the throne is super out of whack, and Sansa's just standing there like, WTF. And Lady Allery tries to save Sansa by offering her lemon cakes. All the ladies sit to eat, and they summon a fool named Butterbumps for their entertainment. That's my first time saying Butterbumps out loud, and it's very enjoyable. Give it a try.
Butterbumps. I love it.
Butterbumps.
Butterbumps.
Oh, I feel like I gotta name a pet Butterbumps now.
That's adorable.
And name another one Patchface? Oh my god.
That's great.
These are my pet rats, Butterbumps and Patchface. Right? Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
Jake and I were thinking about getting rats, so maybe I'll suggest those names.
Keep it in mind. You should.
So Butterbump struggles as the servants bring out food, and Lady Olenna goes off again about how foolish the men are in her family and how the world would be a better place if they all just listened to their mothers. Suddenly, Lady Olenna asks Sansa to tell her the truth about Joffrey. She says she's heard some troubling tales and asks if he mistreated Sansa. So Sansa is immediately terrified. She looks around at all the ears around her. Even if the ladies seem to be paying attention to Butterbumps and not to her, they could still be listening. If she tells the truth, word could get back to Joffrey, and what would happen then? So, she says, King Joffrey is fair, handsome, brave as a lion, and comely. Comely?
I think it's comely. I think. It's not a word I've ever heard before. I've only read it.
Yeah, same.
No
one says comely. Let me... hang on.
Comely.
Oh, it's comely.
Oh, fuck.
Interesting. All right. And that just means, like, pleasant to look at or attractive. I like how 3 of her descriptors are all about his appearance. Mm-hmm. He's fair, handsome, and comely.
Very nice.
The things you need to make a good king.
Hell yeah.
He's a fucking babe. But Lady Olenna doesn't buy it. She wants the truth and tells Sansa no harm will come to her. She tells a servant to go get the cheese, presumably to get the servant out of the room because he's the only man who's there. Sansa says her father always told the truth, and Lady Olenna says that Lord Eddard ended up without his head even so. Sansa says Joffrey did that. He promised her he would be merciful, and he took her up on the walls and made her look at her father's head. She slaps her hand over her mouth, terrified that she's said too much. Margaery urges her to go on, but Sansa says she can't. She knows if the Lannisters find out, she's as good as dead. Lady Olenna commands Butterbumps to start singing loudly, and then leans forward to hear Sansa. When Butterbumps is essentially screaming, and with more encouragement from Lady Olenna and Margaery, Sansa finally admits that Joffrey is a monster. He's evil and cruel, she says. Ain't that the truth? Lady Olenna says that's a pity, and Sansa, scared that they will call off the wedding and she will be blamed, begs them to not stop the wedding. Lady Olenna tells her not to fear, Margaery will be queen, and then she asks if Sansa would like to visit Highgarden. Margaery says she will love it. There are flowers and singers and horses and boats, and Sansa says that does sound lovely. That honestly sounds like exactly what Sansa would love. Fucking singing and horses and boats and flowers.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a preteen girl's dream. But Sansa thinks there's no way Cersei would allow her to go to Highgarden. Lady Olenna says that the Lannisters need the support of Highgarden, so Cersei will have no reasonable excuse to say no. Especially since what the Tyrells want is for Sansa to marry Lady Olenna's grandson. Sansa is suddenly blasted into fairyland. Marrying Loras? Wow, what a dream! Margaery asks if she would be willing to marry her brother, and Sansa says she would love to marry Sir Loras. But Lady Olenna is then like, what? Don't be such a foolish child. Kingsguard don't wed. They were speaking about Willis, heir to Highgarden. Sansa is lost and confused. She asks if Sir Willis is as great a knight as his brother, but it turns out he's never taken vows, so he's not a knight, and in fact, he's crippled. His leg was crushed by a horse when he was a squire. Lady Olenna says that snake of a Dornish man, Oberyn Martell, is to blame.
Oh.
We'll learn more about him later. Margaery says Willis has a bad leg but a good heart. He used to read to her when she was little, and he'd draw her pictures. Sansa is hesitant but asks when she can meet him. They say they will bring her to Highgarden after the wedding. Do you know how old Willis is supposed to be?
I don't know. I think he's the older one.
Yeah.
Maybe either late teens or early 20s. I think maybe early 20s.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
And if Margaery is 16, then...
And Loras is also...
Yeah, how old is Loras?
Fuck.
Wait, isn't he in his 20s? Like, early 20s?
Fuck.
I think Willis is, like, late 20s.
No, he's young.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in his teens. He's 15. Damn, son.
Willis is
He's
15?
baby. Yeah, Loras.
Oh, Loras is 15. Wait, he's younger than Margaery?
Yeah, I guess he's the baby.
What the fuck?
Okay, what's the other guy?
Willis. Willis. W-I-L-L-A-S.
W-I-L-I-S. Tyrell. I have to go on the wiki because he has no character in the show.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. How old is he?
I'm looking up the Tyrell family tree.
How old is he? He's telling everything except for his age.
Yeah, in the show.
When he's born.
Huh?
It's like him born 269 AC. I'm like, what the fuck?
That is not helpful.
He's a bit old for you. Okay, I think he's definitely in his early 20s.
Okay.
But jeez, is it not in the book?
Hold on. So in the book, Margaery has 3 siblings.
Oh.
In the show, she's only related to Loras, but it looks like in the book she has Willis, and then it's Garyon, and then Loras, and then Margaery. So Willis is the oldest. He's gotta be like mid to late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. Anyway, yikes. Yeah, but I imagine that he obviously is like older and unmarried because he is crippled.
Mm-hmm.
So Butterbumps finally finishes his song and the women clap. And that's the end of that chapter.
I found an age.
Oh shit.
It's between 26 to 30.
I fucking knew it. Mid to late 20s. What did I say? Holy shit, am I in my late 20s now?
No, Raven.
Oh my god. I'm no longer mid 20s.
What, you're 28?
Yeah.
That's definitely late 20s.
Oh my god. Give me a moment while I have a quick existential crisis.
Oh my gosh, it reminds me, one of my coworkers turned 41, and she was talking to me about how old she was, and I was like, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm getting old too. And she's like, how old are you, 24? I guess that's a good thing. Yeah, but yeah, she like peed herself a little when I told her.
She was what?
Turning. Like, she was so shocked when I told her how old I was turning.
Oh.
And I'd been friends with her for a couple of years too.
Oh wow. For some reason, at my last job, when we got like a new person who like joined the management team, she thought I was the oldest person in the management team for some reason. And she knows that one other person is 29, so she thought I was over 29.
Dang.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck made you think that?
Whoa.
Do I look old with a mask on?
I guess so. Maybe it's those pouches under your eyes.
Wow, okay, thanks.
Hey, you draw them in all of your self-portraits.
That's true.
You know they're there.
For if anyone knows Itachi from Naruto, he's got these like lines on his face underneath his eyes, and I've always thought I have those exact same marks. So when I do like cartoons of myself, I'll like draw them in like solid like that, and in other self-portraits I'll like kind of shade them in or paint them in.
You do. I think I'm starting to notice them developing on my face. I guess for me it's age.
I've been noticing like really fine crow's feet around my eyes now, and I'm like, wow, it's time.
Right? I'm noticing tiny little wrinkles on my forehead, and I'm like, oh my god, here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes.
Here.
Oh god. Anyway, enough about us aging. Let's talk about Sansa's choices now.
Alright.
So she has two different options. She can go to High Garden with Lady Olenna after the wedding, or she can escape with Sir Dantos after the wedding. Because both of them are like, after the wedding, I can get you out of here. So what, like, if you were Sansa, which would you choose? And as a reader, try and discard your knowledge of what happens. What do you think seems like the better choice?
To stay or go?
To go with Sir Dantos, or to go with
oh, that's
go to
so
High Garden?
Hard. That is so hard because you don't know like who's gonna succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You have a chance of getting married, or you get a chance of like going back home. But what's gonna happen back at home with all this war going on?
I guess if we look at what's different about them, if Sansa goes to High Garden, that's like a legitimate way to get out of King's Landing. So she won't really have to worry, I guess, about like Cersei. Yeah, about sneaking out or getting caught or that sort of thing.
That is a safer option, yeah.
So, but if she goes with Sir Dantos, she'll, and it works out, assuming it works out, she will essentially vanish off of Cersei's radar. So Cersei won't know where she is, versus if she goes to High Garden, Cersei will know where she is. Which I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just yeah, like, it's kind of what I see the main differences as.
If she escaped like that.
Yeah, it definitely seems riskier to go with Sir Dantos. Especially because he's like a drunk, and I don't really trust him.
Yeah, exactly. That makes the choice. Like for me, he is a freaking drunk. He can't freaking do nothing.
Yeah.
And he's kind of gross.
Yeah, he's like creepy.
Kind of handsy.
He's handsy. He's like trying to kiss her at like really inappropriate times. Actually, any time is inappropriate because he's an old fucking man and she's a tiny child.
Yup.
Anyway, that's the end of chapter 6.
Hell yeah.
So we can move on to chapter 7, which is Jon. And your only fucking chapter. Dude, I was choked when I was flipping through them, and I was like,
I was pretty pleased. I was like, this is good.
I flipped a little bit through the rest of the book. I was like, if this happens this often, then I think I'm gonna have to give you a character, because this is like crazy. But
it doesn't. I got all the good ones.
Huh?
I got all the good ones. I can't imagine it not.
But yeah, I flipped through the rest of the upcoming chapters, and it didn't seem like too crazy for me.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if you had the majority of the chapters, like, what kind of book is this?
But yeah, it's like, if this was common, I would not be able to keep up and do all the editing. But hopefully this is a one-time occurrence. For those who don't know what we're talking about, which is everyone, because we have not explained. We read 6 chapters for this recording session because we're recording 2 episodes, and 5 of those 6 chapters were mine.
Oh, are we doing 2 episodes?
Are we not?
I didn't do one of the chapters.
Oh, which one did you not do?
Jamie.
That's okay. We're not doing Jamie.
We're not? Isn't he?
No, it's Sansa, Jon, and then Dany. And then... Oh, wait, you're right. I only did up to Davos as well.
Okay.
But I think that's okay because we're already at like half an hour in this episode, so... All right. Now that we know what we're doing. Chapter 7 is Jon.
Jon. Jon and the wildlings arrive at the wildling camp. He can see more campfires than he can count. And I don't know if we mentioned this last time, because I remember thinking, like, why is it called the milk water? But
Okay.
it's called milk water because it's white water. Which I wonder why that is.
The water is white?
Yeah.
Is it on like a river or something? I don't remember the setting.
I think it is. Or maybe it's like, maybe it's both. I don't know. All I know is that it's called the milk water. They all call it the milk water.
Okay, well, it makes sense then if it's white.
Somewhere in the last book they're talking about it, and I was like, why is it called that? Is it white? Because that's preposterous. And it is.
Wait, is it a river? I'm confused.
I know I call.
I'm gonna see if I can spot it on the map.
It's a river beyond the well.
Oh, yeah, I see it on my map. It is called the Milkwater. It's a long-ass river, too.
No explanation why it's white. Okay.
Maybe it's just, like, really frothy or something,
Or covered in snow.
Or, yeah, like, icy, full of, like, ice chunks. Or, like, slush or something.
Probably. Slush.
Yeah.
So Rattleshirt doesn't trust Jon, and he's certain that Mance isn't going to be fooled by him. Jon intends to gather information and learn from the wildlings, and bring that information back to the Night's Watch. So he's going to be a double agent.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Jon remembers some of the journey to the camp, and there's a brief memory of him and Ygritte talking, and she touches his leg above the knee.
Holy shit. That's fucking scandalous.
I was like,
I noticed, sorry to interrupt you. I noticed there are some, which is not uncommon of George R.R. Martin, but there are some interesting details that aren't really necessary, but he just kind of throws them in anyway. I don't know if you were past this or getting to it or whatever, but the guy who won Corrin's helm apparently gave it to Ygritte because it didn't fit him right. But that's just like a random factoid and doesn't really have anything to do with the story.
I know. Maybe she'll be wearing it later on, and you'll be like, where'd she get this helm? I don't know. Maybe he thought about that.
I guess. Maybe, like, George decided that he wanted her to have 2 pieces of Corrin's stuff, because she already has, like, his cloak or something, right, that she won. So, yeah, maybe she wanted her to he wanted her to have the helm as well, but she couldn't have 1 too. So he was like, that's why he gave it to her.
Mance's outriders approach them, and Jon takes note of their positions, their armor, and their weapons. He recognizes one of them as the Weeper. Because he has really wet eyes, apparently. He's never met him before or seen him before, but he's heard of him from his other brothers of the Night's Watch, because he's a very formidable raider. The Weeper, as in he cries.
Ooh.
So I was like, damn, that's an intimidating name. The Weeper. It just sounds crazy and scary.
Yeah, like it sounds like... What are those other guys? They, like, apologize when they kill you?
What
are they called?
No, it's not sorrowful.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The sorrowful men or whatever. It's like a group of assassins or whatever who will apologize and then kill you. So it kind of sounds like kind of similar to that, at least adjacent to it, with like him weeping all the time. It also, calling him the Weeper kind of sounds like Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
Which could
I think
also...
that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Rattleshirt explains to the Weeper who Jon is and of his murder of the half-hand, that he's possibly a warg, and they agree to bring him to Mance. As they make their way through the camp, Jon takes note of warriors sharpening their weapons, and then they get through to like women dancing, and there's children and babies running around alongside livestock. He sees that there's no defenses at all, that if his brothers had attacked them, many of the wildlings would have died. Like, a great many would have died.
Oh, I wonder why. Why do they have no defenses?
Jeez, maybe it's an oversight. You wouldn't think that's what it is.
Yeah, so either it's an oversight, or they don't give a fuck, or they're like, or if this is like a really quick stop and they don't really have time to throw up defenses.
Yeah, he's planning on moving.
Yeah.
He remembers his father once telling him that in battle, discipline beats numbers 9 times out of every 10.
Okay.
Mance's tent is 3 times the size of all the other tents and is guarded by 2 defenders. Inside are 6 people. One of them is singing the Dornish man's wife. Jon thinks it's strange to hear the song among the wildlings. I kind of think it should have been obvious to Jon who that guy is.
Right.
But it's not. When he's done singing, Jon is introduced. So the singer, Jon didn't know who the singer thought. So it's, I didn't write it down. But it's much like the show where the guy who approaches him, Jon thinks he's Mance, but it turns out it wasn't Mance. Mance is the singer. It was pretty obvious to everyone else except for Jon, because he's singing a freaking Dornish man's wife. It's obviously that's the man.
Okay, well, it did not occur to me, so
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
apparently also as dumb as Jon.
I'm like, well, how is a wildling singing this song? That's all I know. It's like, how did he know? Oh well, maybe wildlings
I
are
don't
learning
know.
from
Maybe he heard it from like
watch.
yeah, maybe he heard it from a man of the Night's Watch. Maybe he heard it from a crow.
Maybe it was Mance who taught it to him.
Exactly. Maybe Mance like asked him to sing it.
Taught him the words.
Yeah, taught him, and then was like, "Sing this, bitch."
So the singer introduces himself as Mance Radar. He recognizes Jon as the bastard of Winterfell, and Mance tells him that Halfhand was once his brother and asks if he should curse Jon for killing him or thank him. Jon pauses and he's like, thank me for killing your enemy and then curse me for killing your friend. And everyone likes this answer.
Ah.
And they're like, oh, smart. We like him.
Okay, Johnny.
She can hear you dying over there.
Hold it in, okay?
Whoa.
Oh my god, the audacity! Oh, fuck.
Oh, he's just playing. Once you know, he's just playing. Okay.
No, this is war. This is war, Johnny. It's fucking on.
Mance introduces him to the wildlings in the tent, and one of them is Tormund Giantsbane.
Tormund! Oh, yeah.
He has quite the title. It's Tall Talker, Hornblower, Breaker of Ice, Thunderfist, Husband to Bears, the Mead King of Ruddy Hall, Speaker to Gods, and the Father of Hosts.
Dang. All right. It sounds like he just made some of those up. He's like, I'll be a fucking husband to bears.
Hell yeah. Mance also introduces Jon to his pregnant wife Dalla, her sister and her sister's lover, and a Thenn Lord who are also hanging out in there.
Oh, what lord?
Thenn. They're the ones that eat people.
Oh, nice. Thenn. Lovely.
I just remember them from the show. Because I was like, oh, Thenn.
How charming.
Charming. Mance asks how Jon came to the north, and Jon lies, says that the Lord Commander sent him to the Half-Hand for seasoning. Mance sends away the wildlings and talk to Jon privately.
I just thought
I just thought
of a funny joke.
Him. Oh.
Can you say again what Jon says is why he was sent north?
Jon says that the Lord Commander had sent him to the Half-Hand for seasoning.
Yeah, because he's out of paprika.
Nice one. Okay.
Tickle myself.
Tickle yourself.
Okay, sorry. Fuck. Go on. I like didn't hear anything you said after you said that because I was like
That's
crafting
all
this
you're
joke.
thinking about. It's a paprika. Grab it. So Matt sends away the wildlings in the tent so he can speak to Jon privately. I guess for the big test to see if Jon really is a turncoat.
Turncoat.
Oh shit, turncoat. Now here I was thinking it was cloak.
No, turncoat.
Okay.
I mean, turncloak would work better for
Right? That's
a
why I
crow.
thought it was cloak. Also because they wear cloaks.
Yeah.
This whole world. What
Like,
kind of
are
cloak do
coats
they wear?
even a
Don't.
thing? Do they wear coats?
Exactly. If someone's gonna wear coats, it should be the Night's Watch, but they don't. They wear cloaks.
True.
Mance tells Jon that he's seen him twice before. Once when Jon was a kid, and Mance was still a brother. And the second time was when King Robert had come to Winterfell to ask Ned to be his hand.
What?
What?
That was recent.
Yeah, Mance had snuck down when he had heard of the king's arrival to get measure of him. And Jon is shook that when he learns that Mance climbed the wall.
Oh my.
Like, I guess, yeah, twice to get out and back again.
Wait. Like, the wall? He climbed the wall?
Wall. That's how he managed to sneak into Winterfell.
Wait, did he climb Winterfell's walls or the wall?
The wall.
What?
How would he have gone south? He had to climb the wall.
He, like, couldn't find an abandoned gate or whatever it is?
I guess he didn't. He climbed the wall.
Because isn't there, like, 16 along the wall, but only 3 are being manned?
I think that's true. Yeah.
But does it say he climbed the wall? Because that's
Pretty
insane!
sure it did. Pretty sure it did. I don't
Okay,
have my
well,
book with me,
I'll
though.
take your word for it.
Mance asks Jon to tell him why he turned coat?
Why he turned coat? Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
I read cloak. I had it there. Cloak. Why he turned cloak.
I
And to
mean,
be
maybe he
honest-
says turncloak, I don't know. But turncoat is like the common term.
Okay. Maybe they changed it to cloak.
Yeah.
So he asks Jon to tell him why he turned cloak, and to be honest.
Okay, one
And
sec.
Jon
I hear a grinding sound every time you talk.
Oh, the upstairs. The upstairs are vacuuming.
Oh god. Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
Issues with the best times. And Jon is basically, you show me yours and I'll show you mine. So Mance tells Jon a story where a shadow cat almost kills him, and he has to go to a wildling camp for aid, where wise old woman's daughter stitched him up and cared for him while he recovered. And she had sewn his cloak back together with scarlet silk from a shy that her grandmother had pulled from a wreck on a frozen shore, and that silk was her greatest treasure, and she gave it to him. So when he came back to the Shadow Tower, they gave him a new cloak, and they wanted him to burn the cloak that she sewed up for him, and he was like, fuck that, and he freaking left. That's why he left the Night's Watch.
What the hell? So they just wanted him to like wear black is what I understood, and he was like, no, I'm gonna wear this, and they were like, no,
Burn it.
you gotta wear black.
Yeah. But like now the cloak had a lot of sentimental value to him, and he didn't want to get rid of it at all. So he made the choice to run away. And I'm pretty sure that woman who brought him back to health is Dala,
Who?
his pregnant lady.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is she
I
from
think-
a shy?
He said that he came back to her.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that's I freaking lost her name on my notes.
Dalla?
Dala, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Dala.
What the what?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Jon lies, and he asks Mance if he remembers where Ned Starks where Ned Stark's bastard was seated during the feast at Winterfell. Mance had snuck in, and Mance shakes his hand and tells him that he'll find him a new cloak.
So Jon's saying the reason he left the Night's Watch is because he's a bastard? He doesn't feel appreciated?
Maybe he feels he's trying to say like, oh, I've been treated like crap my whole life. I'm here for a new start.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. And Mance seems to buy this because I feel like it's partially true. Jon does feel like he's been mistreated his whole life, and he hates that he's a bastard.
He does. But he was also willing to like turncloak to go back to Robb in the first book.
Yeah.
Not always, not entirely.
No, I think he still loves his family, but like he still feels like he's been treated as lesser than because he's a bastard. Also, I loved that Mance left the watch just so he could like wear whatever clothing he wanted.
Yeah, I love that too.
I mean, it's just, I assume, symbolic for like the freedom to make his own choices. That was interesting to learn about, and Mance actually kind of seems like an okay guy.
Yeah, he seems pretty decent.
Yeah.
I noticed like in the show, Jon was more honest, and Mance was more, I don't want to say smart. He's more perceptive of Jon's lies.
He's more Oh, what do you mean?
Like I think Jon's first response to Mance in the show was similar to this.
Okay.
Like feeling like he's been mistreated and he wants to be free and his own man, and Mance was like, no, that's not it. In the show.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then Jon said something about the walkers, and that's what made Mance bring him in.
Oh. So maybe in the show they were trying to switch up the focus. So it would be more on the White Walkers and less on whatever else.
Maybe.
Also, I found Tormund already really likable.
He is.
Like, he was, I guess Tormund just kind of comes across as like he doesn't really have a filter, but he's just like funny and goofy.
Yeah, like he says things that Mance doesn't like him revealing, and he's like, well fuck, it's just me, you know.
He's like, oh yep, I'm an idiot, sorry. Yeah, he's also, I guess, self-deprecating, which I also like. He's like, I can outdrink and outfight anyone, but I mean, I'm not king because I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
That's basically Tormund in this chapter. So it's very enjoyable. All right, so we're at 57 minutes, so I guess we can hold off for the chapters there. And we will continue on with chapter 8 in the next episode. But for now, do you have any life updates? What's new, Jess?
Not much at all. Been napping, listening to some sick tunes. Been listening to a lot of Heilung.
What's that?
Did you listen to a couple of their songs the first time you got your tattoos on the way back? You thought it was spooky.
Oh.
It's very tribal, Nordic.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
Listening to a lot of them. I watched one of their concerts on YouTube. It was like a whole concert on YouTube. It was really good.
Cool.
And like Johnny's really into them too, so it's been like making me like listen to it more and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We were like looking around to see if they had any concerts nearby to go, but no.
Well, concerts aren't really a thing right now.
No. Like not now, but like in a year or two. But nope.
Will COVID ever end?
Will it? Alright, vaccines.
I mean, maybe in America, I'm not so sure it's ever gonna end.
No.
There's just so much, like,
a long time.
so many fucking idiots like spreading this fear rhetoric about the vaccines now, so that people are like, oh, I don't trust it, like I don't have it, why would I get a vaccine? Like, that's the point of getting a vaccine, is when you don't have the virus. Sorry.
Oh man, not just Americans. There's some family members of Johnny's who are also
Oh my god.
against it. They're just scared of it because normal vaccines don't come out so fast. Why did this one come out so fast? You don't know what they did. What if they cut
Hello?
corners?
Hello? Do you know how much fucking money we pumped into it? That's why it came out fast. Just use your fucking brain.
I mean, whenever I try to like say something, Johnny's all like, shh. Don't argue with them. Just let them go at it.
Well, I imagine there's no way to convince them, so yeah,
No.
it would just be getting into a pointless battle.
Exactly. I don't try. I'll just get my vaccination and they can do their thing.
Ugh. But that's like the whole reason why. What was it that like made a comeback? Like the mumps or something? Like something that was almost completely. Huh?
It wasn't smallpox, right? Because that's super dangerous. Was it something similar?
I feel like maybe the mumps and smallpox are
But
similar.
that was just from the anti-vaccination movement, right?
Exactly. So that was the reason why this almost completely eradicated illness made a comeback.
Back for round 2.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, I get a second chance? I get a revival? Because of fucking anti-vaxxers.
People should definitely educate more.
It should be like, okay, bodily autonomy, you get to choose what you put in your body. However, if you're not vaccinated, you cannot attend a public school. You cannot, there should be limitations on what people who don't have vaccines can do. Like, why is it everyone else's job to protect you? You got to think about the greater good. You need to think about protecting the community. It's not just about you, you fucking asshole.
I feel like these people just want to feel special, part of a group. I think I've mentioned that before about flat earthers.
Yeah.
They're the same type of people.
They feel like they're so enlightened, but it's like... and there's just no way to argue with these people.
No.
I mean, as long as we do, like you said, as long as we do our part,
focus on yourself,
then we can feel good about ourselves, but we can still be disappointed in other people who are idiots. And I mean, just don't hang out with those people then.
No.
Like, if you don't want to get the vaccine if you have a legitimate reason, then sure. But if you don't want to get it because you don't trust it, or like you think it's pointless, or you don't care, then fuck you. I'm not ever gonna see you again.
Like, it's so easy to just educate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, go up Google, come on. Ask the internet why it took so freaking fast.
But then they're all gonna say that it's like a government cover-up or whatever. Like, it's a... ugh.
I guess.
They've got excuses for everything.
The same person won't have a microwave in their house because they're afraid of the radiation.
No, that's the funny thing, is the same person will go and shoot botox into their face, but no, they don't trust the vaccine. You know what I learned recently?
What?
Botox is the most toxic substance known to man.
What? What's in it?
It's most toxic to humans, I should say. Like, Botox, the toxin Botox stands for toxic. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it uses a toxin called anobotulinum toxina
Yeah.
to temporarily prevent a muscle from moving. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
So Wendy Williams was talking, I saw this on another podcast. Wendy Williams was having a conversation with Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz asked her if she was going to get the vaccine, and she said no because she didn't trust it. But like, lo and behold, just take a look at her face. She'll trust the most toxic substance to humans and stick it in her face. I doubt she did any research on Botox before she did it.
No.
But it's what she wants, so she'll just fucking go for it. But no, not the vaccine, not the thing that's going to protect society from this virus that is spreading so rapidly and is literally killing people.
Yikes.
Anyway.
That reminds me of a coworker of mine.
Oh no.
She's a management. When she was hired, she I would try to smile at her and say hey, and she would just glare at me, and she seemed so mean.
The fuck?
And then a few weeks later, she started smiling a lot and being all jokey. And then just a few months ago, one of my coworkers was leaving. She's like, you know what? When you first came in here, I thought you were such a bitch and that you hated me. And she was like, no, I just had Botox. I couldn't move my face. It was really funny to hear her say. Because it was a huge change from being so sullen looking to suddenly skipping around the warehouse all laughing and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was pretty funny though.
That is funny. All right, so thank you so much for joining us for this episode. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast, or you can follow us separately. My handle is Crimby, Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we should show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of this episode, and he's a really cool guy and makes dope stuff, so check him out. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, such as behind-the-scenes content, outtakes, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he hates. So you will be getting something in return for your contribution, and you'd also be helping us improve the podcast with better equipment, but we also just appreciate you listening. And please don't forget to share the podcast with your family and your friends. It is the best way for us to grow. And by the way, last week we did a Game of Thrones Season 1 trivia for our 2-year anniversary. So if you want to check that out, it came out last week. We had the whole TIGBAB family there. There was Jake and Eric, and we all played Game of Thrones trivia, and it was super fun. So you can check that out. Also, shout out to our patrons, our lovely loyal patrons, Tobias and Jake. You guys are the bomb. And that's all I've got. Jess?
You
good? Okay, thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.